At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance. We are the future of crypto.
What's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be on this realm. It is a beautiful Tuesday. And if you are not subscribed to Vibra Finance, subscribe on Twitter at Vibra Finance. Trying to grow this thing, all natural, never buying any followers or any of that stuff. So we're trying to post some stuff on here as much as possible. What up, Erwin? Appreciate you stopping by. But if you want to join, what up, Mobius? What's going on? There's the link is in the chat there. Anyone would like to join, you're more than welcome. Let's check and see what we got going. Ooh, another bloody day on the bubbles. Not surprised at all. IMX. I like that though. The other day when Eagle and I did that little mock portfolio, IMX and XDC were two of the coins that we picked, which looks like out of the coins that we had, not bad. I think we're down like $80 or something. We put around $1,000 in. But it'll be interesting to kind of follow that and see where it goes. Let's see the wrecked portfolio. There we go. 900 for. So we're down like $50, which isn't bad. We put Cello, Quant, IMX, Pulse Doge, which Pulse Doge kind of, I knew I was buying the top on that, but I wanted to throw a little meme coin in there just to see kind of what it does over the next couple months compared to these top tier projects. But yeah, we'll see where this goes. I'm going to take a dive into Cello. I really don't know much about it. The coin market cap, oh wow, volume 8.5 million. But yeah, I know this coin has been around. You see it everywhere. It's on the ISO lists. Okay, so founded at MIT and Stanford. Cello's main selling point lies on smartphone users. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do this today. I'm not going to take a deep dive into this, but in the future, definitely we'll keep an eye out on that. But one of the interesting articles that I came across was the Central African Sango, which I was not familiar with it. I knew that they were using Bitcoin as legal tender. But this was really, really interesting because you're basically going to be able to buy citizenship there through crypto. So the country is one of the first in the world to declare Bitcoin as legal tender, but they've rejected an attempt to allow crypto investors to buy citizenship with $60,000 worth of the coin. We're going to postpone the listing of Sango and release 5% to Q1 of 2023, which investors had been promised they'd get back 5% of the stake at the inception. And I think this is interesting because it's a great way to bring in adoption, people and bring in an infrastructure for an economy. People around the world that are taxed at an insane level, or Canada, for example, you can't do stuff in DeFi. They're limiting what coins you can trade. So people are going to look for crypto-friendly areas. So when countries and republics are doing stuff like this, you could tell crypto is here to stay. This just makes me more bullish just overall on the crypto markets. And another interesting little article that I saw here was last week there was the Safe Space conference, and what I thought was interesting was the Hex Trust, not the one that the Hex Investment Trust that Discourse Syndicate is doing, but this is the institutional um, company. They're basically crypto wallets for institutions, and this is talks about staking at the institutional level. So the Hex Trust, Hedera, Clearpool, and BCW have started noticing opportunities and providing safe and secure ways of allowing institutions access to different staking products. So this is clearly, the future. And if you kind of dig down through here, the HBAR Foundation is partnered with these guys, and they already set aside a allocation for HBAR to be distributed over, I don't know what the time is, but it's going to be in 4 phases. So there'll be the technical availability, the development, the staking reward launch, and then the complete implementation. The network has recently completed up to phase 3, where details such as reward allocations and reward caps were decided by the Hedera Governing Council and the Tokenomics Committee. The team announced 1 billion is going to staking rewards and capping the rewards at 6.5%. To better enable institutional participation, Hedera works closely with its council members and partners like Hex Trust to integrate with their network and ultimately offer staking programs to their institutional client base. And I'm really bullish on this because the Hedera Foundation works so close with a ton of companies around the world. And when you have that partnership, they have the rewards predetermined. So there's no confusion there. The rewards are predetermined. They're set up. Each epoch delivers an amount and so on and so forth. The fact that Hedera is going to Davos next month, this is the World Economic Forum, we know, has a big say in governments, just in the way things are running. And when you see HBAR partnering with them, and also Casper, I believe, is going to be there, it just makes me more bullish. And we've been through the Hedera website a lot. And when you if you haven't seen it, and once you go there, go to the governing council and just take a look at it, and you could see what they're talking about here with the governing council here. They're the ones that make decisions for the company, for the DApp, for the DAO. All this stuff is voted by the partners. So there's, it's centralized in a sense, but it's also decentralized. They have that perfect balance of, not 50-50, but of a perfect mix where each one of these companies gets a vote in what they're going to do. So with the tokenomics, with the rewards, with the staking allocations, that whole governing council voted on it. And if you look at the companies on there, I mean, Avery Dennison, Boeing, Chainlink Labs, DBS, Denton's, Deutschcom, DLA Piper. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. IBM, LG. I mean, these are the biggest companies in the world. And when you see them now offering institutional staking, I mean, I just don't know. When people say crypto's dead, I don't know where they get their information from. There is obviously FUD everywhere, and you need to be able to see through that and understand what is real and what is meant to distract you. But stuff, following the Hedera Foundation on Twitter is a great place to start, with Avery Dennison, these guys, and think of tape, the 3M tape, little stickers on your fridge, all that stuff is going to be tracked on Hedera. Everything that they do from start to finish will be tracked through Hedera. And just makes me super bullish to see that. We've been talking about these companies, Avery Dennison and the Coupon Bureau and all these companies that were partnering with Hedera, but you didn't really see that much happening. But you're now finally seeing in real life, it's coming to fruition in front of our eyes, which is awesome to see. And on another note, which was kind of an interesting article, there could be potentially a ghost moving Bitcoin around. We have the QuadrigaCX exchange that was debunked years ago. 104 Bitcoin were sent out from the wallets 3 days ago. And the Ernst & Young was appointed to handle the estate. And they admitted that in February 2019, they lost control of about 100 Bitcoin after mistakenly sending the coins to a Quadriga operated cold wallet that the firm couldn't access. So they moved the coins there and they sat for years. And allegedly, the Gerald Cotton, the founder, was the only one who was supposed to have access to it. And other people were saying that after the collapse happened, there was no way anyone was going to be able to get to the stuff. And he had said on podcasts that he kept all his stuff in safety deposit boxes around the world. So somebody was able to get to his stuff, or we have another fake death. Either way, it's this stuff never ends in crypto. And yeah, it just madness. People find drowning in Costa Rica or Puerto Rico. There was an oligarch whose helicopter crashed, I think 2 weeks ago, and somebody was supposed to be on the flight with them, and they canceled at the last second. So just a lot of suspicious things going on. But this article was good here, showing that FTX is now seeking prompt return of FTX's donations, and somebody had already returned $1 million last week, right a month or a week before FTX went under. The rep Beto O'Burke from Texas said he returned $1 million a week before they filed for bankruptcy. So I don't know if this guy knew, if he had some kind of tip that they were gonna go under, but he gave the money back a week before they went under to obviously make himself look good. And I think it's going to have a snowballing effect, and they're going to push for it. But the interesting thing that is that the PACs, these political action committees that were formed, the way that they're set up is they can't give refunds. So FTX or Sam Bankman-Fried knew exactly what he was doing, giving money to these PACs. It's something they cannot, that's not something they can refund. Here's an example of a billionaire using money he stole and diverted into political contributions. It's an egregious example of corruption in our political system. FTX gave $41 billion to PACs, which can accept unlimited individual and corporate contributions. However, they must formally separate from campaigns as they run ads or sponsor other communications or supporting other opposing candidates. So this is super corrupt, but I think once somebody gives the money back, everybody else is going to have to follow. They're going to look so bad. You can't just have that hanging over you over elections when you move forward. That's going to be held over you so bad. So just look, I think in the future, the next month, 2 months, however long this takes, all this money is going to slowly be given back, and we're going to start to see whose pockets were greased. And also, Grayscale might have to open up their books. There's a lawsuit. Fir Tree is the name of the hedge fund that was shorting Tether, and now they have filed a lawsuit against Grayscale alleging misconduct. And a couple of things they said is that Grayscale has failed to allow redemptions. They have relied on related parties to operate the trust. And Coinbase, which DCG invested in, is the custody provider. So basically, these guys, up until September 2014, Grayscale operated a redemption program where it was possible for shares of GBDC to be redeemed for the underlying Bitcoin. In September that year, they received a letter from the SEC informing them that the program violated Regulation M. So from that point on, Grayscale hasn't redeemed any shares. And that's why the premium has gotten to where it has been. It's gotten, I think it's at about 50% right now. And these guys are they're waiting for an ETF to be approved, which will allow them to convert that to spot immediately. And it will no longer be shares, in the trust. It'll be actual Bitcoin. So we'll see where this goes. Also included in the notice was the condition that it would become effective even without a majority vote. So we'll see. Grayscale's been having nothing but problems. I think all but 2 of their funds were trading at massive negative premiums. And that I don't think that's going to change. And I don't expect it to. I think this is all part of the plan, is to either let Grayscale, Genesis, all these lending platforms collapse and just hand it right over to the banks. And we're seeing also too that Microstrategy and Silvergate are 2022's most shorted crypto stocks. So people really do not like Michael Saylor. And I think just out of principle, he's just such a, I guess, kind of arrogant and just such a Bitcoin maxi. And the fact that he can't admit if he just bought Ethereum, he would have been way better off is just hilarious to me. So I like this. I hope that MicroStrategy gets liquidated and gets nuked. That would be the black swan that I would love to see personally. I'm just so sick of seeing his interviews everywhere. It's hindering the space. It's hindering DeFi. Real crypto is happening right now, and it's just not being talked about. You have to dig so deep for it. When you see stuff like this right here with the Hex Trust allowing institutional staking and institutional participation with Hedera and all of its council members, that's where this is all going. Sent the C.A.R, it's Sango coin, you being able to buy citizenship through a crypto coin. If crypto was dying, why would the ghost coins of the QuadrigaCX founder mysteriously appear and being sent around? This stuff they're not doing that to liquidate, to sell. MicroStrategy and Silvergate, these guys here are scumbags because they failed to detect money laundering of its own clients. $425 million was laundered through the company, and Silvergate just didn't bat an eye. And so far, they have lost almost $500 million for the year. So they're just getting crushed left and right, being shorted to death. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a problem. And it's going to all tie into Genesis, into Gemini. Just that leverage is just about to crack the top of the pyramid. It's worked its way all the way up, and I think the Binance stuff is FUD. We have Reuters putting this article out hinting that there's dark secrets around Binance and its reserves. I don't think so. I just don't think there's a company out there that's able to properly audit Binance. They're so big. There's so much going on. I just don't see it possible. And when there was a flood of people trying to get money off exchanges when the FTX stuff happened, they processed $3 billion of exchanges in 24 hours, or with exchange withdrawals in 24 hours, and they had no problems. So if they were, I think if they were at risk, something would have happened when that flood came last week, and they were fine. The only issue is that a lot of their reserves are in Binance, Tether, and Bitcoin. It's not cash, but I know their cash reserves have been increasing over the years. It's easy, so transparent. there everything when he's asked those tough questions, he answers what he can. He's out there, and I just don't get any bad vibes from him at all. Alex Mashinsky, the first time I saw an interview with him, I told my friends, I was like, "There's something up with this guy. I don't know what it is, but just looking at him, I just get bad vibes from him." And sure enough, scammer. And if you have that ability to, or you get a good feeling towards something, a bad feeling, always go with your gut. You're typically going to be right. And I just, my gut tells me that Binance is fine. The issue is going to be putting banks out of business. If Binance can start doing lending, they can start doing all this stuff inside their exchange. There's no need for banks. And I think that's where the pushback is coming, is that they're going to say Binance is way too big. It's bad for the industry. We're going to have to have Voyager resurface and give them to Bank of America. Oh yeah, what Celsius? Yeah, they're good to go for Fidelity. And FTX, yeah, we're going to give them to Citigroup. And that way the banks now will be handed over assets for pennies on the dollar, and they'll be able to have their own little dexes there, or their own coins, and they'll be right into the game. And I think that's the way it's going to go. There'll be one more black swan potentially, which is going to either be Tether, Binance, Silvergate, Microstrategy. One of these big four are going to go down, I believe, in my opinion. But this is nothing that we haven't expected. We've been watching these bubbles for months, just bleed, 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 bleed. Some coins look like they've started to bottom, but this market is so fragile. We could just fall off a cliff literally at any moment. So be careful. Don't go blowing your whole load right now. DCA in over the next. I'm having people I work with right now for at least the next 3 months. If you have $1,000 you want to put in, all right, put $75 a week, or $75 every other week, something like that, until we can kind of get a feel for where this market's going. This is the same pattern here. Boom, boom. And I don't, yeah. I mean, if this wasn't the bottom here after 5 months of consolidating here, I don't know. This could be one nasty wick down to like 8K, 7K, but time will tell. I think we'll be able to get a better sense with news that comes in. Once the new year comes, once the damage from FTX is done, these lawsuits and Grayscale, they kind of come to fruition. MicroStrategy, we're going to see their liquidation, I believe, is around $4,000. So if it starts bleeding down, you'll hear about that in the news. But I think it's going to be Tether or Binance, to be honest with you, because they're so closely tied to each other. And Tether's already been in trouble with New York. They didn't have to show reserves, and it just does not feel right. It just feels like they want to blow it all up. And now, yeah, man, you're exactly. Grayscale seems it does. Two of their trusts have a premium that's not massively negative. I don't know how long that can sustain for, but time will tell. Bullish as hell on Hedera, on XDC, on Hex, on everything Richard Hart. Right now, even Stellar, XLM, XRP, bullish as hell on them. Quant, bullish as hell on Algorand, Pulse Chain. There's so much going on right now. Saucer Swap. If you don't know about that, saucerswap.finance. It's PulseX right here, live on Hedera. I think it's 3 or 4 second swaps is super clean. Single-sided staking is 18%. You can't beat this. This is PulseX beating the market, 17.97 the APY right now. So check that out. You can go to the Discord, link your account, get a Hashpack wallet. It's free. Send it like 10 HBAR. I think you need to get the coins unlocked, and you can hit the Discord, hit the faucet, and get some free saucer swap. And just playing around with this DEX, providing liquidity in the farms, and then once you do that, you get the reward token, and with the reward coin, you can provide liquidity to community pools. There's so much going on out here in crypto. Don't stay negative. Don't stay, focused in one area that's doing nothing. If you find yourself in chats where the same thing's being discussed or nothing new and exciting, venture out into when there's nothing wrong with that. Find something that is different. Find something that you breezed over in the past, or just jump into a different community and just start listening to how bad NFTs are, or whatever it is. Don't get caught up on the negative stuff. Stay positive. There's always stuff happening here in the spaces. There's always positive chats happening in Telegram. There's always a great spot to go where you could, for alpha, for realm information. Those flat earthers are crazy. They seem to be all over the place. But yeah, Davos coming up next month. Super bullish on that with the projects that are going to be there. I think a lot of legislation with MICA will be happening Q1 next year. So crypto is not dying. Crypto is here to stay. They just need to figure out a way to get it in the hands of banks and safe custody. And I think with phones and wallets being built on the next generation of smartphones, that's going to be the next step towards mass adoption, and being able to self-custody right on your phone without a ledger being built in. That's one step that needs to be knocked off. To have to take your ledger here and then with your phone, blah blah blah, right to the phone it knocks off so much risk of having to lose your seed phrases, losing your device. And if there's a way that, I know with Apple, the way their new terms of service is working is you're now going to be in charge of all your data. It's no longer going to be out, your stuff is on the iCloud. You're going to have basically a seed phrase for all your data moving forward, which is going to be great for crypto, because it's going to teach people that don't know what crypto is how to custody their own coins without them even knowing it. So once their data is in a key string, are not going to want to lose that. So could you imagine you're some dude that's sending, pics around all these girls or whatever, and oh, I need to keep this safe. I can't let this get out. You have your own phrase. It's on you. So now with the ledger on your phones, having to keep your data, your crypto, all that in one, you could see how it makes sense. And I think your privacy, your data, your crypto, it'll all be stored in the same key phrase in the future, which is exciting. I think Stacks is the new ledger or whatever. We don't have one of those. No plan on getting one yet. The Nano X is great for what we need. And we have the Engrave, which is just a step above everything else out there. And very happy with that now. But for just simple use, get a Nano X if you don't have one. I can't. It's priceless custodying your own coins. Where this market is going, we're under $1 trillion right now. I think this market cap is going to 10 trillion next bull run, and by 2030, $100 trillion. So that's 100x from where we are right now across the board. So not your keys, not your crypto. That will ring on forever. Richard Hart, I believe, will be given his credit for that someday in the future. But for now, let's just face reality and, be safe, be smart, custody your own crypto. Don't fall victim to the FUD. The DCA in. We could honestly, we could have bottomed. We could drop. Nobody knows. You got to just play it day by day and have a best case and worst case scenario plan. If we are bottomed out, this is my plan. If we go down for the next 6 months, this is my plan. You got to have both of those scenarios covered. And when you do, you'll sleep well at night and you'll start finding out about airdrops. You'll start, things just magically start working out for you once you are staked, once you have a plan, once you aren't just FOMOing into random NFTs, random meme coins. I can't tell you how many people called me last year asking me about just coins I've never heard of, from ETH Max to SHIB, Elon, Doge. I mean, it didn't end. And that's going to come around again, and be ready for it. And this time it's going to be utility coins, though. It's not going to be memes. It's going to be stuff that has a use case, stuff that has utility. Stuff like XLM, stuff like Polygon, Nike, Starbucks, NFTs there. It's here for good. Polkadot, interoperability. Litecoin is what Bitcoin was meant to be. Super fast payments. Solana, one of the top chains for developers. Solana's here to stay. I think it's an incredible opportunity, and it will probably do Ethereum type numbers this next run. Uniswap 2 is going to be massive. The banks are building front ends for V4 so they can use DeFi. Avalanche, another L1 developers really like. So it goes on and on. Link, best Oracle out there. So super bullish on this whole space in general. Don't get fudded out. Follow us on Twitter if you don't. We're going to be streaming a lot more now. Hex News every Saturday night, and hopefully having a guest on after that. And hopefully get our 1,000 followers in the next year. Give away our ledger, Nano X, that's sitting here. So if we can get 1,000 followers, would love to give that away. But that's all I got. Saucer swap, hit the faucet. You can hit it 3 times a day. It's free coins. And then you can stake them right here and earn more sauce. It's just something to do in the bear market instead of arguing with someone about when Pulse is going to launch or when a testnet's coming. Don't do that. Be positive, be smart, and we will catch you on the next one. See ya.
At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.